for guys, right? I would speak about this. And I'm like, how many times has your woman said to you, like, I'm not happy? Like, and
all my
women,
exes.
right. My hand is up. So the thing is, what I thought was so interesting, and I share with women, is that, like, well, if you're gonna say that you're not happy, say what you are really feeling, because saying I'm not happy is a not feeling, because it's gonna confuse the male, which is more of the masculine or left brain analytical facts. By saying I'm not happy, now it's like it short circuits the analyzer part of the brain to, like, well, what is she? And now it's like, women be like, he just looked numb and he looked like he couldn't say anything. I was like, probably because you short circuited his ass. What is up, B? What is up, my guy?
Enjoying this Sunday morning, man. Chopping it up with you early. We already learned some things this morning. Teaching each other.
Right.
A little reflecting. Oh, I love talking to you, man, because we're always uplifting each other. We're always learning. I'm like, I leave a little more smarter, even though I don't think I leave a little more smarter every day.
Makes sense to me.
After every podcast, yeah.
I love it.
That's like an oxymoron, right? I just said something really stupid, right?
It's like more better. It's more better.
More better.
Yeah. Yo, listen, see, that's what I dig about this whole thing. It's like we learn, we teach, we share, and man, this is like an expansion, bro. It's an expansion, and I'm really digging like the sunlight in my face, even though I may have to put the glasses on because I'm like, it's crazy. But bless up, everybody. Welcome to this More Than Black or White podcast. This is Paul and your boy Brian. Blessed up. Welcome to another episode. Like, we're gonna have to put some things on a shirt, man. Like,
yes. What's next? We're getting there. We're still in the first year, man. We're like, trying to build our way up,
And look,
it'll get
how we build
better.
Listen, always does, bro. The trajectory. You know how it gets better too? When people like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Yep, you got it. Click on that like button. And if it's the first time you're here, welcome. This is a show, podcast, discussion about ways, paths to take care of yourself, to really hone in, get to your best self on your own path or with the path or help of others. So, like health professionals and the such. B, always a pleasure. Like Brian always said, we're always here learning and we want to share. We got something special to share about the word. The word. B.
What is that, Paul? What is that?
Well, I'm glad you asked.
That's pretty broad. Break it down for us.
Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, when we always do our prep work, we talk about what we're gonna discuss in a podcast, and words are very special to me. I personally believe that our words get bastardized because people fail to think. So, I'll give you a perfect example. The words that we speak have meaning, right? Like actual meaning, yet the words that we speak have vibrations, impacts, neural functions. It's way more than solely a word. So I wanted us to take time, especially as we're always talking about health, and like we talked about health. We talk about health on a lot of different ranges, B. Like, Brian.
We're out there sometimes.
Bruh. Dude, I was going through our catalog the other day. I was like, yo, what? Bro. I was like, look, man.
I love going deep with you,
Bruh, man. Yo,
I love going deep.
Yo, man. Because it's like the rabbit hole, man. And there's so much learning on the way. It's like, damn. So listen, so that's why I'm particular about words. So I want to discuss the importance of words. And and the base of words, the impact of words, both on the brain, physically. And we're gonna, you know how Brian and I do. We gotta outline and stuff and things we want to talk about, and we may just go in another direction. Doubtful, but we'll see. All right. So here's how it started, right? Like the thing is, the words we choose and the language we use have the power to affect people around us. And B, that the whole context was, I was working with this guy, John Tompkins, right? And I was leading this Mankind Project online training, and one of the resources was this book. Did I have it here? Oh yeah. So it was this book, Not Crazy Yet. Start talking to yourself differently. So I'm like reading this book. Yeah. Then like this guy, John Tompkins, is actually in the one of the cohorts, and we connect. And I'm like, yo, I'm taking your book. And he's like, yeah, tell me about your life. And the guy's a family and marriage therapist, right? But older dude, but he, like, in the beginning, he worked with like NASA, helping them with like how they communicate, work together. So at the time I was going through a rough patch, bro. I had the happy face on though, but I was going through a rough patch. And my brother was sick. He was living with me, man. Like, we didn't know if he was going to live, bro. It was like, and I was going through like parental alienation, all sorts of shit. And John was like, hey man, what's going on in your life right now? And I was like, all right, I'll share with you. And he was like, I think you can improve your situation with how you speak to yourself and others. And I'm like, and at the time, I'm like, think I'm big shit because I've been staffing and like facilitating. I'm like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Like, who's this guy right here talking like
one book and you think you know everything?
Right. You work with NASA and shit. You think you know a little something? Yeah. But come on, man. So I'm like, so still I'm like, all right, this guy, and still yet I'm like, all right, tell me. So he started ping. He started pointing at different things in language, and I was like, oh shit, bro. And even as I'm thinking about it now, I'm like, so dude, I want to, like, that feeling I had about the impact of words. Like, he became my coach for like 2 years, like my mentor. So he would school me, bro. Like, my sessions with him, like, he would be like, everything I said wrong, he'd be like, nope, what? Who you? I'm like, to the point, dude, I had a freaking breakdown. I was like, you motherfucker. I was like, I swear to God, I'll kick your motherfucking ass. And he was like, good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was like, how you feel? I was like, I feel fucking great. But I'm like, bro, it was potent because these little things, like, I had to build new brainwaves, and he was teaching me about the ways, like, I was really violent and vicious in language, man, and with the words that I was saying. Yeah. So ever since then, man, I've been like, passionate about it. But like, when I brought this to you, Brian, man, like, what was your thoughts when I was like, yo, let's have an episode on words, bro?
Yeah, I mean, like, you talked about it before, like, everything in this world is energy and vibration, and words, work from energy and vibration. It gets out there, and it's going to have an impact on not only you, but the people around you. And similar to you, like, I got introduced into like words and like emotions and how it impacts your reality probably about like 15 years ago. I started diving into it. And again, I always had like that. I always put on that smiley face, like everything is good. Like, my language was bumper sticker. Everything is good, man. It's all going to work out, And I remember,
language was bumper sticker.
Yeah, everyone's like, I had an old friend. She once told me, "You speak in bumper sticker."
Wow.
So I always took that. I was like, all right, yeah, okay. I guess it could be worse. But it was almost like I was kind of like putting on almost like a front, like I wasn't happy behind the curtain. And I started getting into meditation, and one of my gurus at the time was like, "Hey, listen, just sit in quiet. It's like you're not on the inside. You're not the person on the outside that you are on the inside." He's like, "I can pick up on your energy really quickly." So he was like, just sit in meditation, just quiet the mind, and what's the first thing that comes to you? And my mind just starts, internal dialogue. You start racing, but worrying about all these things that are happening around you, and fear and anger, and like all this stuff started like kind of like coming up into me. And I explained that to him, and then he's like, well, tell me about it. And I started using like derogatory words, and he's like, this is why. It's like you need like before if you want to change your reality, you got to change your vibration that you have in you, which is going to change your vibration that you whatever
Exude.
external.
Exude.
Yeah, you're the word guy, not me. And universe.
God.
So I started becoming more aware of what I was saying. And a lot of it came to Napoleon Hill. We talk about Napoleon Hill a lot, like almost like he's like fake it till you make it, like kind of like one of those things. And just what does it feel like to have what you want? And that's how we kind of, we did past episodes on imagination and, neuroscience and stuff like that, quantum physics. But yeah, words are big, man. And like, it plays a huge role. It's everything, you show somebody with a messed up life, I'll tell you what their words they're using.
Dude, man, B, it's very interesting, man, because I'm at the point right now where I can hear it. Like, I'm like, oh, Chuck, like that's why. Oh man, and hearing it and then reflecting it back to someone. Like, okay, what I'm hearing you say is blah 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 blah. I didn't say that. Roll back the tape.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. Like, oh my.
Yeah.
Because most people never like reflect back that they hear, right? So people are speaking gibberish, and they may be saying some really crazy things. So, dude, I wanna go through some of these slides and word hacks, because like one of the things that's interesting is when we was first in the pregame, we were talking about etymology, and what was it? Etiology. Right. Yeah. So I looked it up, and I'm like the ET, and then the whatever it is after it. So it's like an and or of. And that's the beautiful thing, people. That one of the invitations early in this is Brian and I like to research. Like, but you said, like, yo, we go in. We're like, yo, man, you know what? Hold on. Oh shit, wait. I know you have that too, bro. Yeah. So the invitation is to really explore the words that you're speaking, because one of the key things is the I am, and even saying things like the I am stupid or I am dumb with. People are like, oh, I was just joking. Yet the way you said it and what you said is creating a crazy ripple. So there's a lot of the words, like even something simple like that is still profound. Yet the words that you speak, look into what you're really saying, because you may have a collective awareness of like, oh, this word's supposed to mean this or that. I'm like, wait, let's look that shit up. Mm-hmm. So one of the things, I want to share this this slide here. Oh, wait. So this is one of the things that freaking blew my mind, right? With this word stuff about language. And when this guy John was showing me this piece, can you see this, Brian?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it. So he was saying in our language, with the words that we're speaking, and Brian, you said it before, vibration, what we say and like the not configurations he always used to bust me up on. Like, for example, people would say, well, I don't want, I don't think. That creates a confusion because the brain fails to process nots, negatives. So you're saying I'm not this, or I'm not going to do this. You're actually saying I'm going to do it. Now, that's the thing. The brain is going to create, like you see here, this amygdala. If it senses alarm, for example, confusion, the amygdala is going to start to firing like there is something wrong. Something is not clear, right? Now what happens?
The brain, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the fear sensor, yeah.
Yep. So we've talked about this before, but for the people's, like, what are some of the impacts? Like, what are some of the things that happens when that alarm starts going off the body, cortisol starts going through the body? What's some of the stuff physically that happens with that?
I mean, heart rate goes up, blood pressure goes up. You know, your body starts releasing more cortisol. Things is in their fight or flight. When your body's in a fight or flight, you have no blood really in your internal organs, your intestines. It all goes into your muscles because your body's like, let's get the hell out of here. You know, quote unquote, a tiger's chasing you. So it leads to a lot of digestive issues, which is rampant around the world now. Leads to a lot of like fear, which is like, you know, a good acronym. One of my favorite acronyms for it is like false evidence appearing real. So things that are not even real, you know?
Yeah.
So it just makes you almost like borderline delusional. Like you hear people all the time, they're like, you know, like I tell people, oh, I'm doing this, I'm going here. Oh, be careful, be careful. That's like their amygdala, just like I'm fucking overloaded. It's like short circuiting because they have a different experience to it, and you know, they view the world in a different place. Probably because of the words they use. Probably because of the words they use.
Exactly. Now here's the kicker, right? Here's the freaking crazy thing. Look at where the hippocampus is, right? Right by this fear center. Now, there's a recent study. I think it was either 2019 or 2020, where they basically said like we have a storyteller in our brain, which is the hippocampus. So whenever there's any sort of gap in information, the hippocampus is going to fill in a story to help keep us safe. Okay, so now if I'm in fear and I have confusing language, well, I don't know what I want. Now the brain is like, put your dukes up, man. Now it's like, I don't know the gap. I don't know what this guy is, or this person or this woman or whatever is saying. Like, fill in the story so you can keep yourself safe. Oh, they're probably saying something bad about me, so I'm going to just kowtow. What?
Yep.
Now,
so basically the hippocampus, right, it controls the emotional processing, right?
All the like
memory, learning, emotion, all that stuff. So if you're kind of, so what I'm getting at is if you're kind of, you know, have the bad words or you're not using the right type of words, you're not going to perceive the emotions coming into you correctly. Pretty much, right?
Bingo.
Bingo.
Bingo, bango. There we go, bruv. There it is. Now, he also went in to share, right, about when, and you talked about this, the restriction in the blood flow, because now it's like, okay, the blood is going towards the body and like even going away from the brain of really executive thinking. So the prefrontal cortex is the key piece to that, to like the executive functioning. But if all the brain or all the information or all the worry is in the amygdala and the fear center, we're going to fail to think clearly. This is another piece about like should shaming. How many people say should? I should have done this. Like, bruh, it's like this. It's the should shaming thing. It's like, don't shit on yourself. Yet that's a common word in our language. Be like, well, you know, I should do this. Like, oh my God. You either get to, and John will beat me. He will pummel me on this, B. He was like, it's either you get to, you want to, or you will. Which one is it? I'm like, is fuck you an option? Like, I don't know. No, okay. But yeah, dude, I think it's so, bro, I'm gonna pause there for a second because I feel like I'm talking a lot because this gets me all excited.
No, I love it. Yeah.
But I think it's very important for people to understand the importance of words. And one of the things I really want to touch on, man, is this part of our language that's called a feeling thought merger. Okay. So, perfect example, B, have you ever heard anyone say, I feel like?
All the time.
Right. Now, thinking of one instance, can you recall if they actually said a feeling after that?
No. I mean, I'm trying to think. You know, no.
It's kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
they usually say like I feel like, then they kind of say something that makes them look like or sound like a victim, right?
Quote unquote. Look, well, watch this. I feel like you're judging me.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the feeling though? Like,
There's always something
Like,
negative following that.
and it's a thought.
Yeah.
Like, to judge someone is a mental process. Now, I could say, hey, I'm feeling angry thinking you're judging me. That's clearer, right? Like, oh, I got an emotion and I got the thought.
Yeah.
It's an arrangement of words, yet at the same time, it creates so much clarity to what we're saying and how we're communicating with others, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Love it.
So yeah, dude, I get freaking amped up about that shit. But you when we were talking about this before with in the pregame, you brought up the words and the Dr.Emoto study. And I know we spoke about this in the water episode. That's when I was watching before. But can you give the peoples a rundown of that and how the words play into that piece?
Yeah. So words create emotion, right? So there's a doctor out there, a famous doctor. He did, I want to say back in the 70s, he maybe did these studies where his name was Dr. Emoto. And he would take water crystals, or I'm sorry, he would take water that was like kind of polluted, and he would have like shaman monks out there, and you would put them all around like lakes and everything like that, and you would test the water before, and the crystals in the water were all like deformed, or it had a lot of like, it was very stagnant, very little vibration in them. And then he started having monks around the water praying, meditation, positive affirmations, did that, and then he would take more samples from the same water, and the crystals wound up being like beautiful crystals, bright, clear, high vibration. And you can do this, and you can do this study on yourself. Like if you would take a mason jar of water and take another mason jar of water, or even like a plant, and you would have negative affirmations on one plant or water and positive on the other. Within a week, you will see the difference in the way the plant and the water is. It's crazy. Like the water, I've done it with water before. It gets very murky. You start seeing shit like growing in. I'm like, what the hell is that? And the other one is like, it's like crystal. It's beautiful. And what's so impactful for this is like your body makes up a huge percentage of water. So if you're having negative thoughts all the time, like what do you think that water in your body is? It's murky. It's like sludge. It's like swamp. It's like sewage. It doesn't matter how great your workout is, or you're trying to eat clean or organic or whatever it is. If you have shitty water in your body, the life force in your body is gonna be nothing. It's gonna be crap. And so starting with your words, your thoughts, which will create higher, it'll create more higher vibration. Paul and I, remember that funnel we did? We had a diagram on that. I forgot which episode that was, but
vibration and frequency.
Yeah, vibration and frequency. It teaches you how to increase your level of vibration you have in your body. That's your life force, and it starts with your words.
The frequency of emotions. Yeah. I'm looking that piece up again because that shit was so tight.
While you're bringing that up, it's like it's interesting because like I forgot the author's name. I have one of his psychology books back there, and he was saying, I've mentioned this too on the show before. It's like most people have the mentality of a 12-year-old. It's about 90% of people that in this world have a mentality of a 12-year-old. So when you have words like I can't, I would like to, blah blah blah. That's a childlike mentality. Like you can't do anything you want. For you saying you can't, I mean, it disempowers yourself.
It does, bro.
You feel like a child where like you have to answer to somebody. You're an adult, like you can do stuff. And when you start using positive words like I will, or whatever it is, or I'm going to do, or I am doing, it creates a different vibration in your body.
Whole new ball game, bro. Yeah. Whole new freaking ball game. It's there like, listen, bro. So this is, I wanted to bring this up because you're bringing up some potent things here about our words, which is when you talk about the sludge, and I'm even thinking about the plants. Like I would always kill plants, and every morning I come out here and I'm like, oh, look at you,
We just
beautiful
lost about
babies.
100 vegan subscribers, Paul.
Yeah, I know. We lost about 100. You said
Vegan subscribers.
Oh man, listen,
Still in
I
the
love the
plant.
plants. Yeah, it's all about the plant. Here, look, here, come on back. See, I got plants. I love them up. I love them
Okay.
up. But dude, I come out and I was like, hey, I look, man, look at you, beautiful plant babies. Oh, John. And I really think that actually, I know that has an impact on them because even when I talk to them, they shift. So when you talk about the words that we speak and how that helps our body function, I think about all the people that are getting into the health game, right? They're getting into their fitness and on their routine. All right, great when you're doing that. Now, once you're doing it, what are the things that are going through your mind? What are the things that you're saying to yourself as you're doing your weight training and your lifting and all these things? That has an impact. Like if you're saying like, and this is coming into the hermetics piece too, that with Franz Barden, because he's talking about when you're breathing, what are the words that you're breathing into your body?
Mm-hmm.
Are you breathing in victory? Are you breathing in abundance? Are you breathing in success? Are you breathing in stress, disease? Like,
yeah.
it's crazy,
Hey,
bro.
Bring up that chart again. I want to ask you a question. So when you were saying before, I feel like it always goes to like, I feel like you're attacking me. Where do you see yourself vibing on this? What emotion? Around.
It's when I hear stuff like that, I think it's grief, fear, anger area.
Exactly. See how low you are on that vibration? Most people they vibrate at such a low level, you know. And I think I mentioned this before. Like I was reading the same guy that I read the psychology book is like 90% of people, 90% of thoughts you have throughout the day. I forgot how many thoughts people have throughout the day, but 90% of them are such on a low vibration. They're very negative thoughts. And 85% of those thoughts you repeat day after day after day. So like it's so like it takes, we mentioned this before in past episodes where like a physical workout is not even 1/10 of the strength and the endurance and the power that you need for a mental workout. It's so much easy. It's so much way more difficult to control your mind than it is, to bench press. So like, I'm at a point in my life too. Like I don't care about weights. So like, I mean, I'm 45. I'm pretty strong for my age, but I'm more worried about like my mentality. I'm more worried about like how I handle things when they come at me in a stressful way. How do I deal with criticism? And just like things like that. And I try to, and I'm getting good at like catching myself from being negative. I give myself like a 5 or 10 second pity party every once in a while. Then I'm like, oh fuck that. I just have too much pride, which I know is, probably not a good vibration to have. But like, I want to empower myself. I don't want to feel like somebody is controlling my thoughts. I want to be like, no, I'm a man. I'm an adult. I want to empower myself, and I want to be a good role model for people around me and as myself too. So get out of this funk. We have too much depression, anxiety, and bullshit in this world because people vibe at such a low level. And, there's a lot of other, things coming in there, but, kind of wrapping it's your words. It's your words and your thoughts. So
it's bananas. Like as we're talking about this, but I really appreciate your passion that you're having for this too. I can sense it. I'm like, yeah, he gets it.
I want to stand up while I'm doing this, man. I don't want to like.
Yeah, I know, bro.
Sit down, man.
Dude, it's crazy. Like I think I need to we can get some standing desk and whatnot, man.
Yeah.
We'll hook this up. But I think it's very important for people to acknowledge this type of health. This is and it's very interesting. Yesterday I was on this panel for mental health in the Black community, and one of the questions, like what was one of the strategies that you use for yourself, for your family, or with who you work with, and one of mine was communication. Because, dude, I with the men that I work with, one of the things we start really honing in on from week 2 is their words.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I get why, like I talked about this before, like I get why John was pummeling me with the words, because the words that we say create a neural pathway, a common story, which will weave a pattern. So until we start really honing in on the words that we speak and being particular about it, we're going to keep doing the same thing. Even Dr. Joe Dispenza says it when he's talking about like what's something new that you create. You're creating it in the word. Like even you thinking it is you're thinking in words. You know what I'm saying? Like it's freaking crazy, bro. So go ahead. You got something?
No. I'm just taking it
So
all in.
yo, dude, it's crazy. So here's this thing, right? So I did this. I'm gonna share this piece. I did this part about bases. So I'm gonna share something with the people, man. We're gonna be. You want to go along with the ride on bases? We're gonna run the bases here. All right.
I'm hanging on him. I'm white knuckling this. Let's go.
Let's go. You're like, oh God, where is he going with this? Oh shit. All right. So one of the things that that John was particular with me on, and I forget how John phrases it, but he had this chart, like basically a lot of what John was teaching was violent versus nonviolent communication. So he was very particular about I'm trying to think of the words that he used. I probably could have, but I'll remember another time. He's very particular about like how I call them the bases. So seeing, thinking, wanting, feeling. And he was particular about this because he said this is when you start to get into the not configurations. So the not would be like, I don't see, I don't think, I don't want, I don't feel. These are all common parts in language. Common. You like, even if you think about it, like you go after you listen to this podcast, for the next conversation you have, listen to how many not configurations you could find in the sentence. Okay. This is also a form of thought discipline. So when he started going in this, he was like, he started really tapping into like the mind of like we'll say something that we don't see, but really it's like the seeing is an observation, like a concrete description, like something I could take a picture of. So for example, I see you have a white shirt on, rather than I see you don't have a hat. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I see you don't have a hat. What do you mean? How do I see that you don't have a hat? Because I see your bald head. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what you see. You know what I'm saying? And in our language, we still, hey, I don't see you wearing a baseball cap. We use these not configurations, and the brain's like, wait. And it starts to accept the confusion and chaos. Do you follow what I'm saying on that?
So like you're saying for the, so how would this be applicable for the people watching this? So instead of, so not to use the word not?
Yes, not. Focus on what you see, actually see.
Not what you don't see.
Not what you don't see. Mm. So these language bases, you want to start eliminating don't, put in do. What do I see? I see you have books in your bookcase. I see you have a white t-shirt. You know, like.
And the purpose of this is to, because it like almost like twitches the brain out a little bit, like your brain's like,
yes,
what are you talking about?
Yes, it twitches the brain, but what it's also doing is it's starting to rewire a person. This is the power of taking out the whole overall. This is the power of changing the not configuration of that don't into a do, like an actual. Mm-hmm. So the seeing is one example, but like the thinking is another one. So for example, like I don't think. He would call these are not thoughts. Like, oh, wait, oh, that's why. Okay, here, hold on. Add to stage. That's why you weren't seeing that. Okay. So he would call these like the thinking base, right? Like this is what's the not thought? Like, I don't think. Mm-hmm. So many times people will say that. But what happens is now they're not processing. They're failing to think actually, rather they're like in like some imagery or story in their head.
So let me ask you a question. So I actually use I don't think a lot too. So I'll be like, you know, when I'm in a round table with my business partners, I'm like, I don't think that's a good idea because of X, Y, Z. So if you were coaching me, what would you, how would I reword that? How would I say that phrase differently?
I think XYZ is a better plan or option.
Okay. Okay. So just go right into it. Just jump right into it. So I don't think, because it's just like too much fluff. I think
Too
we
much
should do.
fluff. I
Okay.
think this is I think this is a better option. Now, when you
Okay.
said that, what was the energy you felt when you said it like that?
I felt more empowered. Like I felt like, all right, yeah. No, it is funny because like I just felt it. I felt like a bigger vibe. Yeah, I liked it. Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is the example, and these are the short circuits he would give me. I was like, oh yeah, I do think
it's strange. Yeah, you do feel more empowered. Yeah, you feel like you're more controlled. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not charging me for this session, are you?
You'll get the invoice later. It's all good. All right. So, dude, and this is what I love about teaching this, right? Because when we start to change the words that we speak, it's uncomfortable because it's common. What you just did, you're like, oh shit, I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Then when you change, now all of a sudden you're like, we talk about energy centers. This is directly throat chakra energy center. And this is coming from the root. That's why it's a base. You're saying confidently what you think. You're saying confidently what you feel, and so forth and so on. Crazy, right?
I love it.
He's like, yo, I'm still thinking about that shit. Like, oh shit.
You got me thinking about chakras. I'm like root chakra to the solar plexus chakra to the throat chakra, 1, 3, and 5. They all work together. How do they, yeah, it's good.
Dude, and this is it, bro. This is it. This is why I love teaching about this stuff, because a lot of times, and one of the things I really appreciate about what we do is we practice and teach and share these small ticks or tweaks that people can do. And that's what I think about language, man. And the words that we speak are so potent and so powerful in how we speak them. So yeah, so do I really want to, I don't know. So here's another one that, do it. So here's mindful of the mergers. All right. So one of the things that John would be up, he'd be like, yo, cancel with this, I'm not happy. And I brought that up because that's for guys, right? I would speak about this. And I'm like, how many times has your woman said to you, like, I'm not happy? Like, and
all my exes.
Right. My hand is up. So the thing is, what I thought was so interesting, and I share with women, is that, like, if you're going to say that you're not happy, say what you are really feeling, because saying I'm not happy is a not feeling, because it's going to confuse the male, which is more of the masculine or left brain analytical facts. By saying I'm not happy, now it's like it short circuits the analyzer part of the brain to like, well, what is she? And now it's like, women be like, he just looked numb and he didn't look like he couldn't say anything. I was like, probably because you short circuited his ass. What were you? She was like, I was pissed off. I was angry. Then say that shit. Say that shit, right? This also goes into I feel like, I feel that, I feel as if. These are thoughts mixed in feelings. There's no feeling there. Like I feel, and I mentioned this before, I feel judged. People see this all the time.
I feel like when a woman says, or anybody says, I'm not happy to somebody else, and they start off with that, you're the other person that you're talking to, the first reaction is going to go almost like into a defensive state, almost like into a fight or flight. And you're not going to be able to, two things, you're not going to be able to hear what they're really saying, and you're not going to be able to process it and have a good conversation moving forward. Because right away you're just like, boom, you're right up. But if you hit them right in the beginning with whatever, like I feel like blah, 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 then they'll process it more. I
Yeah,
feel like
and
you can have overall better communication because you don't got to beat down that wall first.
Now, you want to hear something crazy? You said I feel like 5 times.
I know. I'm paying attention, man.
So what's the
Listen,
feeling?
if
Because
you're gonna
after
bill
that,
me
you
for this, I need to get my money's worth here.
yo. So check it. Oh, so we're gonna do this live, and I was just thinking, like, man, this is. I think this is more. This is words, yes, and this is also a communication session, like how we communicate and the words that we use to communicate.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, I feel like, when women say that, like, what's the that was actually a thought.
Mm-hmm.
I think that when women say this happens. You could take out, I feel like,
Mm-hmm.
or you could say, I think. You see, when people
Yeah.
say, I feel like, it's really a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be like, I think this.
That's it.
Different, bro. It's
Yeah.
different. So I'm going to have you try it again. So what do you think about the I'm not happy?
I think, man, I don't know. You caught me off guard, man. Man, okay.
Yo,
I don't know.
now see,
Coaching.
so hold up. So I think this is important to note, right? I think this is the power of words and the power of neuroplasticity. What just happened right there expanded Brian's brain. So even though he was like, I don't freaking know you. What the fuck? Why didn't we talk about this? Why didn't we talk about this?
Yeah.
Like, but what's gonna happen is, or what just happened is, B.
Mm-hmm.
By you just like having that, like, what the? Now your brain is like, well, hold up. What is?
Yeah. You actually have to stop and think about it. Most people just go into it. They just fill as much, air with vibration or words as much as possible because it's almost like uncomfortable to have that pause. So
Yes.
when you stop and be like, all right, I should be speaking like X, Y, and Z, you have to be more conscious and there's to be more of a pause in there. Especially in the beginning, until you create that, like you said, that neuroplasticity.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
There it is. And it's so common. It's so easy to go the regular path. But if we're looking, especially with how we're talking about health and well-being, things that people could do on their own to elevate their health, words, language, communication is all part of that.
It's the foundation,
it's all part
man.
of it. Yeah, dude. It's like, especially when we talk about, especially now, look, right? When this is recorded, this is an election year.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to talk about like application and really like tuning into words, B. So the invitation is to listen to people speak, right?
Yeah.
And get curious. Be free of defending. Be curious. So if something is uncertain or something has you feeling on guard, ask about it. This will take courage. Okay?
Your ego doesn't like it.
Yo, say it again for the people in the back.
Your ego does not like it. Yeah.
True words, bro.
Yeah, I got something from I think it was Jordan Peterson a while ago. It's like every time, like I like hanging out with people that have different views than me. I like asking questions, and I like to learn. And one thing he said, I think it was him that said it, like when you're having the purpose of a discussion is for you to learn something and for the other person to learn something. If you're going into it and just arguing back and forth, like what's the point? You just wasted 5-10 minutes, and like you see these like in Facebook, like I never post anything political really, to a certain extent. Sometimes we talk about like our government here with like on YouTube, that's part of our podcast, but I never like on my page, like post anything political or religious or anything with sex or gender, race, or anything like that. Because why most people out there, I would get flooded with emails, and I'm not going to respond to all. And then it starts getting personal. Like, you ever read threads? It's just like it's like entertaining how like you can talk about something, and then you can just go into like a personal attack on somebody within like 2 or 3 threads. And I'm like, no one cares about the root of the issue that was at firsthand anyway.
Dude, listen,
that's what I was telling them. That's like a childlike mentality. Oh, you're just stupid. You're just dumb. Look at So.
Well, think about it. Coming back to where we were before, though, B, that's a fear response, man.
Yes,
that's a fear. Because what happens is and I meant to get into this before, free of it being political. Regardless of what your stance is, be aware of the language, because a lot of the language that's used in our media, in our social campaigning, is language of fear and dis-ease and division. Listen to the not configurations in those pieces, man.
Yeah, it's tough because if you watch, I mean, I haven't watched the news in years, and I don't miss anything of it. Just chaos and crap anyway. But if you would, I mean, I remember, if you listen to news, the words they use, I know people like, like they follow CNN or Fox or whatever else is out there, and they talk just like them. So they talk in fear because they're programmed through media, social media, education, whatever it is, and then they just kind of copy that and they move forward. So now you're getting fear pushed onto you. Now you're, without knowing it, you're taking fear and pushing it onto somebody else. And it's just like this vicious cycle, so you got to be like, I remember Paul Chek saying that 99% of people are just, they're just programmed. They're just sheep. They can't think on their own. I think a big part of this has to do with how are you learning to talk? You weren't born in this world talking like this. You didn't have fear. You didn't come out of the womb in fear. You came out with your love. You learned something along the way, and you gotta unprogram the mind. And you gotta realize that, whatever you learned, you need to unlearn quickly. Want to grow.
Yeah, it's and you just said it right there, man. It's the unlearning. And I think that's uncomfortable for a lot of people, B, man, because we live in this space of, I'm going to go with the flow. So anyone being curious is penalized, right? They're like, oh, this guy, or this woman, But that's what it is to think. Like, because when they were coming back to something that you said before, when the language or the vibe is of fear, it's bringing the energy and the blood towards the amygdala, the fear and the defense center. So our ability to think is dulled. It's like nullified. So it's important that we even, the why I bring this up is to start to exercise the mind, is to start to bring awareness to our words.
Yeah.
Like, take the time, look up a word. Like, that's why I love words. I'm like, yo, what does that word really mean? Where did it come from? How would I really use it? And what's the crazy thing is, I asked people, like, I did a poll because I'm a nerd like that. I asked people, like, hey, when you look up a word, how many of the definitions do you read? And they're like, usually like the first 2, 3. I'm like, really? Because I'm going all the way down to the bottom. I'm like, as a noun, as a verb, as an adjective. Came from Greek, and listen, man.
I feel like
you just did it.
I just did it, man. All right, but we should. Yeah. I work to do.
I love it, bro. I love it.
But people at home, like, I look at it as like, if you're not in a place that you want to be, if there's a certain thing in life, just say like a relationship that you want to improve, I think it's important to, this is where journaling would get in. I think it's important, exactly how you've talking about it in your mind, write it down, and then read it back to yourself, and then take the words of wisdom that Paul is teaching you and go back in there and correct the words, and then read it back again. I think you will definitely notice a higher vibration in your body. You will learn how to communicate better. So again, this is where journaling we get in. Don't just exactly what you say. I feel like I feel, whatever, I'm not getting what I want or whatever, and write all that down, then proofread it, edit it, and do it again.
Bro, I love it. Dude, you know what's so wild? I do these, I did a couple of these story workshops. That's all it was. Like, all right, so write it out. Mm-hmm. Okay, does anyone notice this? Yes. Change it to this. Anyone notice this? Oh my God, yeah. Change it to this. All right, now rewrite it. They're like, yeah. Yeah. That's my symbol for expansion.
Yeah, that's it.
Yo, B, thanks for going on the ride. Like, I know I was listen.
This is great. I learned a lot on this one. This is good. I appreciate you, man.
Bless up, bro. Bless up, man. And to everybody, man. I'm so excited, man. I'm like, I love when we do this, bro. I love when we do this. So listen, for those that are watching, thank you for going along the ride with us. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments, chats. Let us know, like, what are powerful words that come up for you, or what was it like when you went through some of these activities that we went through? Where do you short circuit? What are some words that you say? If you want more information, just put it in there. And if you want more content like this, or let us know, and you want some different content, can you guys talk about this? Yo, hook us up, man. Yo, we'll go in, bro. What? So yeah, send it to us. So bless up to everyone. Like, share, subscribe. We're so grateful for you. We are so grateful for you. Thank you for watching and supporting. B, any last words, my guy?
I'm afraid to say anything else because you're just gonna clown me. So I'm good.
Like, you just said it again.
No, I'm just said it again. No, I appreciate everyone, man. This is we're pumped, man. This is a good episode, and looking forward to putting more good content out there for you guys.
Bless up, everybody. Peace.